Welcome back. In the previous video, we saw how we can model a ring light using extrude and shrink flatten. While those are powerful tools, today, we're going to take a different approach using Boolean modifiers, which offers even more precision and a much cleaner workflow. Blender always starts with the same three things: a camera, a light, and the legendary default cube. But to create something truly unique, we need a fresh start. Head to the Select menu, choose All, and hit Delete. Now, we've got a clean slate. Let's get to work. First, open the Add menu, go to Mesh, and choose Cylinder. In the bottom left corner, expand the Add Cylinder panel to adjust the object settings. To make the curve nice and smooth, increase the vertices count to 50, set the radius to 0.4 meters. That gives us a light ring within 0.8 meter diameter. Finally, set the depth to 0.01 meters. That's just 1 centimeter tall, perfect for a sleek light ring. Next, we use numpad del to frame our selection. This centers the view and zooms in perfectly on the cylinder, making it much easier to work on the fine details of the ring light. Head over to the Add menu, select Mesh, and add a second cylinder. In the Add Cylinder options, keep your previous settings, but adjust the radius to 0.39 meters. This gives us an inner segment that's 1 centimeter smaller, creating the ideal base to clearly separate the metal rim from the light ring. Now, we select the first cylinder by clicking on its name in the outliner, and head over to the Properties panel on the right. Click on the Modifier Properties tab. It's the one with the blue wrench icon. Once there, click on the Add Modifier button to open up the Selection menu. Hover your mouse over the Generate category. You'll see a variety of tools here like Array and Bevel, but for this step, we need to create a hole in our mesh. Move your cursor up and select the Boolean Modifier. This will allow us to use our second object to cut through the main disk and give our ring light its iconic shape. Let's jump in. Now that we've added our Boolean Modifier, it's time to tell Blender exactly what to cut. You'll see the Modifier panel appear on the right. First, ensure the method is set to Difference. This tells the software we want to subtract one shape from the other. Next, we need to select our cutting tool. Click on the eyedropper icon next to the object field. Move your cursor over to the Scene Collection outliner and click on Cylinder 01. This is the smaller cylinder we created earlier. As soon as you select it, you'll see the object box fill in with that name. With our settings in place, we are ready to commit to the change. You can see in the Boolean Modifier tab that we are using the exact solver for the best results. Now, look at the top right of the Modifier panel. Click on the small arrow icon next to the camera to reveal the drop-down menu. From here, select Apply. This makes the hole a permanent part of our cylinder's geometry and removes the modifier from our stack, leaving our workspace clean. Now that the modifier is applied, you might notice that the hole isn't visible yet, because our cutting object is still in the way. To see what we've created, go up to the Scene Collection outliner on the top right. Look for Cylinder 01. This is the object we used for the Boolean cut. Click on the icon next to it. This toggles the visibility, hiding the cylinder from our 3D viewport. As soon as you turn it off, you'll see the clean, circular opening we've carved out of our main disk. It's starting to look like a real ring light now. Remember, the object still exists in your project, it's just hidden so we can work on our main mesh without distractions. With our outer rim finalized, let's add the actual light-emitting part of the ring. Head back to the Add menu, choose Mesh, and add another cylinder. In the Settings panel at the bottom left, you'll notice Blender has remembered our previous dimensions. Keep the vertices set to 50 and the depth to 0.01 meters. This time, we want the piece to be just 0.5 centimeters thinner than the metal rim we just carved, so set the radius to 0.385 meters. This makes it just slightly smaller than the cutout we made earlier, creating a realistic gap between the light and the frame. Next, we need to repeat our carving process, but this time on the inner segment. Select Cylinder 01 from the outliner. Head back over to the Modifier Properties, that blue wrench icon, and click Add Modifier. Navigate once more to the Generate category and select the Boolean Modifier. Just like before, ensure the mode is set to difference and the solver is set to exact for a clean result. Now, click the eyedropper icon and select cylinder.02 as the target object. You will immediately see the change in the viewport as it carves through the mesh. To make this change permanent, click the small arrow icon in the Modifier tab and select Apply. This leaves us with a clean, independent ring. We've successfully modeled the two main components of our ring light. Once the modeling is complete, we can delete the cutting object, cylinder02. Select it in the outliner and press Delete on your keyboard. Next, let's move on to creating our materials. Select the inner ring, cylinder.01, and open the Material Properties tab, identified by the pink sphere icon. Click New to add a material slot. By default, Blender assigns a principal BSDF shader, which will serve as our base material. Now that we've added our new material, let's keep our workspace organized. Head to the top of the Material Properties panel where it says Material 01. Double-click inside the name field and rename this to Light. This is a crucial habit in Blender. Naming your materials ensures you won't get lost when your scene becomes more complex. Select the very first cylinder we created, the largest one, from your scene collection outliner. Since we haven't assigned a material to this part yet, click the New button to create a fresh slot. Let's rename this second material to Metal Ring. Now that we have our separate pieces, the frame and the light, it's time to bring them together into a single object. This makes it much easier to move, scale, or animate the ring light later on. First, select both cylinders in the scene collection outliner by holding down the Shift key and clicking on their names. With both objects highlighted in orange, it's time to merge them. Use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl and J key. Alternatively, you can right-click on your selection in the viewport and select Join from the pop-up menu. You'll notice in the outliner that the separate cylinders have now merged into a single object. Now, take a look at the outliner. You'll notice that we are left with just one single object. Let's double-click its name and rename it to Ring Light 80 to keep everything tidy. Even though we now have one single mesh, if you look over at the Material Properties tab, you'll see that both the light ring and the metal ring materials are still there. Blender has automatically assigned the correct material to the corresponding parts of our new, combined object. This is the perfect setup, one easy-to-manage object with two distinct, customizable surfaces. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more Blender tips and tricks. See you next time.